how much wood can a wood chop if a wood chop could chop wood?
Why joinery? How joinery? It's a way of building a bespoke piece of joinery for less.
How much wood does a wood chop if a wood chop?
Pardon? Sapele. Something like that. Hello.
Hello, hello.
You may be able to see lots of timber behind us. That's because we're in the top floor and the joinery has begun. As you know, the floor is in the top floor and the underfloor heating. So the bathroom is being completed and
As we speak,
yeah,
literally they're there right now.
Joinery is kind of the last thing to happen up here, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's certainly the last big thing. In fact, behind us is a rendered wall, which was the damp-proof rendering. That is literally the last thing to be clad.
And the timber behind Jordan is what's cladding that wall. So it's Sapele veneer on MDF, and it's going across that whole wall with some shelving. So the TV will be built into that wall, seamlessly hidden behind a beautiful artwork.
We hope.
We hope.
Says. Also, you say veneer. We are actually using a mix of solid Sapele and Sapele veneer. Obviously, solid wood is incredibly expensive, but the design that we've come up with incorporates a mix of veneer and solid wood.
And actually, this is a good example because this is the solid timber with the veneered wood, which is real wood veneer, but you can see they tie in really beautifully. So why Sapele?
Why indeed? Sapele is what we're using for the joinery, but there are also other woods happening in the house.
But there are other woods available on the market. Sounds like an advert.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like something I'm telling. I think Sapele is something we haven't particularly worked with before. Our very first house together we did a walnut floor, which was gorgeous, and I feel like we've lived in that. And then our previous home, we had a lot of blonde wood and a lot of light wood. And for here, we wanted to try something different.
I also think this house is going to have a lot of silver and aluminium, stainless steel. So the warmness of this, the warmth, really helps to keep the house feeling homely and inviting, because obviously silver type metals can feel quite cold. This warms it all up and it's a beautiful pairing for aluminium. Some simple facts about Sapele: it is a hardwood. It's very hard wearing and suitable in this case for in a bathroom setting. It's readily available, and compared to other options in the mid-wood range, which I would include cherry in. Cherry is very beautiful and very, very on trend right now. This is more cost effective than cherry, which is another reason that we went for it, because we went through a process of pricing everything up and this came out on top.
Yeah,
on many levels.
And didn't feel like a compromise on look.
This can withstand an outdoor setting and is often used for windows or door frames in an external setting. So yeah, very, very good wood.
It's also quite often painted over, which we're absolutely not going to be doing.
No.
It's been so lovely seeing all of the wood coming in, because obviously wood is a natural thing and every piece is entirely different. A lot of the veneered pieces have like an A side and a B side. One is more stripy and one is more sort of curvy and organic.
The crown cut versus the quarter cut. Quarter cut more stripy, crown cut more beautiful and wibbly. We've gone for the crown cut.
I keep getting distracted looking around at it because it's nice to see some final finish in this space, which will then be completed. So how about the joinery itself?
Architecturally, the reason we wanted to use joinery specifically in this space is because this is quite a square, beautiful room, except for this wedge shape that is sort of an uncomfortable addition on the side of the building. And we have this lovely classic triangle on a box shape in the space. But the bathroom and this section behind us are in this wedge. So by creating the joinery wall that follows all the way through, it sort of squares the entire room off and just makes it more pleasing. And it's a nice surprise because it's seamless across that bathroom wall. You don't necessarily know that sliding panel slides across and there's a bathroom in there. It's a nice surprise. It hides it away, but there's also natural light source in there because we have two windows.
By sliding panel, you mean pocket door?
I mean a pocket door.
We're having a pocket door so that it's kind of seamless.
I called it a sliding panel because it's within frame, so it mimics the other panels across the wall, so you would think it wasn't there.
Yeah, it should be essentially invisible.
Apart from the fact it has a pocket door handle on it.
Well, yeah, that's true, but hey, come on, some things have to just be completely functional.
Yes.
As you know, this is our living space, and in the corner there we've kept a bathroom and a storage cupboard essentially, and it was really important that there was a lot of storage and joinery. So we've incorporated it, I think, in quite a clever way. So, for example, one of the biggest pieces of joinery just behind you is also acting as the balustrade and the banister for the stairs. So we have 3.5 meters of storage across there, which is going to act as basically everything we need, for this space.
And once the Sapele doors are on it, it's got a solid Sapele top and Sapele veneered doors, and the back of it is. So you almost don't realise there is any storage there at all. It just looks like a sort of structural wall that is part of the staircase design. And actually, it's a huge amount of storage in this small space.
We actually opted for quite narrow cabinets. So although it's 3.5 meters long, I think, is it 300?
It's 300 deep, yeah.
So it's long, narrow storage, but that actually does service everything that we need. And we've done some really clever things, like we've added some sockets inside so that we can sort of rechargeable lamps. We can use it for like a printer, for example, if we need to. I can't wait for the doors to go on because it's going to be so cool.
And a note on the doors, trying to keep the budget in line in general. We've actually used off-the-shelf carcasses that were very, very inexpensive, and we're cladding them in the Sapele veneered MDF and the solid Sapele timber on the top and down the side as a waterfall edge. So it's a way of building a bespoke piece of joinery for less, but it's still going to be finished with beautiful timber. We've then painted it ourselves inside in this deep sort of red colour, which goes with the windows. And it won't be very visible, but it's just a nice surprise when you open the cupboard. It adds a level of finish. And the doors themselves we've ordered online rather than having our joiner make them up, because one of the processes of edging Sapele veneered MDF is quite time consuming, and we do have an edging strip and it's iron on. It was more cost effective to order the doors ready edged, and those are coming soon, and they can just be added on ready made.
There will actually be an extra twist to that piece of joinery, which hasn't arrived yet, but when
We'll
it
save
does,
that.
we'll show you, because we're working with a really cool furniture maker designer, and yeah, there's like something very special happening over there.
Yeah.
So essentially, we're probably 75% there on the joinery. The bit behind us, which is the easiest bit because it's essentially a flat wall, is the last bit to do, and the doors on the banister. Even the joinery inside the bathroom has started to happen.
Yeah, so the joinery inside the bathroom, again, we've got to seal it because it's going to be in a moist setting. There's going to be moisture in the air. And we've got 2 walls that are panelled in the Sapele. And actually, because it's got lots of natural light in there, the Sapele is quite dark, but it just brings a warmth. The room is very minimal. It's all off-white, so it's very light in general. The 2 walls of Sapele just give it some depth and interest.
And it feels minimal and calming, which is what we wanted it to do. And then the interest and the playfulness comes in the shapes of the items that we've put in there, and the worktop that we've chosen for the vanity, which is also very cool.
And in terms of sealing this, we've used an Osmo oil. We tried lots of different options, decorator's varnish being one, because we want a matte finish. This that you can see here hasn't been sealed yet, and you can see it's got this lovely soft matte finish. There's almost a chalkiness to it.
I just want it to look exactly as it is. I don't want to seal it.
Yeah, so inside the bathroom we're using Osmo oil, and outside, but inside we're using clear Osmo oil, which is matte. It does have a tiny bit of sheen on it. It's not entirely matte.
Yeah, it's like a 5% sheen maybe.
But it does bring a richness out in the grain, which we wanted to avoid in this space. It's gorgeous in the bathroom because it's like you go into this jewel box and it's really rich. Out here, we're trying to keep more of that matte, soft quality. So we're using the raw variety of Osmo oil, which just, I don't know, it almost looks like it has nothing on it at all.
There's a lot of wood to seal.
It does take a while to properly cure and soak into the wood, but then it lasts for ages, and it's a really, really sturdy finish that will be water repellent.
And also, it's important to say here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the skylight 5 windows, and wood obviously, when exposed to sunlight, can fade and change colour. So the sealing it with an Osmo oil will also help with that. It won't stop that or eradicate that completely, but it will slow that down.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Also, to mitigate from any water ingress on the MDF, because water and MDF do not mix unless you're using moisture-resistant MDF, We have used a metal trim, so all of the raw edges of the MDF on the underside, we've got a raised shadow gap on the floor level, and there is a metal trim that covers the edge of the MDF on the underside and goes down the wall to the floor, so any water that might be on the floor isn't going to get anywhere near to the MDF itself.
That's in the bathroom, by the way. You probably should have started with that, not out here.
I was talking about the bathroom, and then you moved on to something else, and I still wanted to get that in.
Oh my God.
We're working with a joiner, Stu, who we've worked with throughout our entire careers, and we've done many, many projects together. This one is the first time, I can't believe I'm saying this, that we're using solid timber. Usually we have used ply or veneered MDF. This has given Stu a bit of a headache because there were complex rules to the way that this joinery happens, because the original intention was that it was like a theatre set. So here we're seeing the back of the theatre set as if we're backstage in the relaxed area, the living room, and inside is fully finished, the beautiful jewellery box bathroom. So there were some rules of the fact that the frames have to effectively appear to be a sort of construction of a set on the outside, which is why that we have these framed sections coming out, which are also very useful for bookcases or to display art or small objects.
But they also present huge challenges themselves, because we wanted to see zero visible fixings on either side. So if you think about sandwiching a wall together, we've got the shelf backstage theatre set on this side, and then a beautiful panel on this side with no physical visible fixings. It has been a challenge, but we've got there. So yes, that's the joinery. We're very, very excited about it. I can't tell you how happy it makes me. And it all sort of connects, which we'll show you, like, you know, that wall becomes the ceiling downstairs. Like, it's really taken a lot of thought and planning, and seeing it come to life is very, very exciting. I hope you have enjoyed us chatting about joinery and the progress upstairs. We are incredibly excited to see it moving forward.
This floor, now that the joinery is going in, is coming together because we intended for this floor to be a sort of floor that uses wood. This is a timber floor. Downstairs is very much metal oriented. So that makes much more sense now that we're seeing the wood go into this floor.
It's my favourite transition. Walking down the stairs from the living room down to the kitchen is my favourite transition.
Because you get all of these beautiful junctions where wood hits brick wall, or the Sapele meets the Douglas fir of the step. And then when we get to the bottom of the stairs, we'll have timber meeting stone floor.
And glass and the window.
Yeah, so there's a window.
Oh yeah. Did we not say that?
No. The joinery up here is largely in. The joinery in the bathroom is largely in. We're tantalisingly close to being completed up in this top floor. We will show you that as soon as it happens, but we're as excited as hopefully you might be to get it finished. Yeah. I hope you enjoy the joinery. More to come next week, where hopefully the floor in the kitchen will be finished and we can show you.
It will be revealed.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.
Thank you. When is a bookcase not a bookcase?
When is a bookcase not a bookcase?
When it's a secret hidden bathroom.
Exactly.
MDF, veneered, Sapele. Anyway, those were 3 words, not necessarily useful to you in that order, but there we go.
Isn't that what it's called?
Is it? Suddenly just, maybe I've said
Sapele,
it. Sapele, veneered, MDF. I said them backwards.
Oh
I've said them so many times now, I've lost the sense of them. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.